Good morning, Sri Lanka. Welcome back to the show. Now, Ralph, don't be in a hurry to leave yet. No. We'll get you your coffee very soon. But right now, we need to ask you a few more questions as well. So, now you've been in Sri Lanka earlier as well. Now, Rafael, this is your first time, but Ralph's been here about 10 years ago. You mentioned during the break. So, what are the changes you see? Do you see changes in the banking sector as well, which are a good importance when it comes to introducing a software such as NetGuardians?
Yeah, I mean the changes from 10 years ago are radical. The economy is totally different. 10 years ago, banks were searching for basic solutions, some of them in terms of core banking systems. They've been implemented, the branches are online, new processes have come as a result of that, and new challenges. I'm sure that when the bank implemented those systems, they were manual processes. Technology changed those completely. Now the banks are looking for additional security, additional cost control on top of those things. So economically, financial products, systemically, in terms of regulation, the world is totally different. Sri Lanka is totally different.
So we're keeping up, aren't we? Hopefully, and with this new software, and maybe that will happen, right, Jason?
Yes, of course. No, what I was gonna apart from the obvious, Ralph, is what I want to ask you is, apart from reducing security risk and whatnot, what are the other benefits that a bank could get out of using this software?
Rafael could address this, but when you look at process, every bank is different. And every bank will have glitches in their process.
Right.
And as you analyse those things, if problems reoccur, then there's obviously a problem you need to look at.
Right.
So Rafael's company's software has the ability to look at the process and to say, gee, these things are cropping up time and time again, and there's a potential area for a fraud or for an operational error. So besides monitoring at real time at those type of things, the other beauty of the software is that if you have a problem, you have to look back several years.
Yes.
Now you're scrambling. What happened? Ralph did a transaction several years ago. This has forensic ability where you can go back and query what Ralph did, who checked my transactions, what was the pattern of my doing transactions. So there are many, many benefits aside from just monitoring for fraud on the day.
Oh, wow. So, but this involves, let's say it's a local bank and they're planning on implementing your software, then it involves them giving over a lot of their data and a lot of their information into your hands, into your company's hands. So then what's the integrity involved in that, and are there any risks involved with it, or is it completely foolproof?
In fact, in regards to integrity, all system is installed within the bank, so there is nothing that comes out from the bank. So they have everything in their hands. All the solution is well hardened and secured, and it's run by their own people. So there is nothing that can get out from their own institution, in fact.
Okay, so, but in terms of monitoring and analysis, does your company also offer the option of doing that as well, or that it has to be done in-house by the IT personnel of that particular bank?
So the own software has some engine that does analysis, like behavioral analysis, statistical analysis, and different type of pattern-based analysis. And what we are sharing from our experience that we have worldwide, we provide to all our customer based of scenarios that we've seen elsewhere. So it's a kind of a community of old clients with whom we can share experience and enhance the solution with new type of control and new type of analysis done elsewhere around the world in order to increase the efficiency of the system.
Well, this is amazing. I'm thinking of all of these action movies and the sci-fi thrillers where people are analyzing these numbers, and it seems pretty high-tech.
Get me my black leather gloves and let me type. That sort of thing.
Press a button and you know exactly what's happening anywhere in the world. But have you I don't know whether you can speak about this. I mean, you can tell me if you can or not. But have you caught fraudsters across the globe now? And I mean, there are people who are pretty afraid of your company at the moment.
Afraid, I'm not sure that they are afraid. At least the people who take our solution are more happy, because recently we got a case in Africa where after having installed our solution, they noticed that there were one internal employee who was stealing all the credential of his colleagues and was doing some transaction under the names of colleagues and into some dormant account, and they caught this guy. So that was a case we were kind of proud, because usually they don't like to share with us all this information, but here they shared it with us, and it was
that's amazing. Just imagine how that bust went down. Be like, stop, I'm Raphael, the engineer, the guy that made this software. Freeze. And arrest that guy.
That is very cool. But again, the companies, all the internal fraud that may or may not happen within companies, I mean, you don't know whether that's actually happening or not. If they choose to share, that's another story, but other than that, the internal matters will stay in that particular bank.
Absolutely.
Yes. Right. Those banks are not going to come to Raphael or come to us and say, we had a problem.
Well, no, not that they will come to you and say it, but maybe you can detect it because it's your software, but you can't.
In fact, we can't, because all like notification alerts are directly sent to the responsible within the bank. So they are aware of what's happening, and if they are willing to share with us, we are happy, but otherwise it's their own kind of business, if I can say it so.
Right. Just like any other software, like today, apparently now this whole cloud thing is just coming up here in Sri Lanka as well. Like, and there's automatic updates when it comes to softwares. Does your software need an update regularly, or is it done manually? That you guys come over to the bank, look into it, update it, and then leave, or is it just automatically just updated?
It's like a lot of this new solution. We have automatic update that runs over the cloud, where we can update scenarios and rules and the system directly via retrieving the information via secure areas.
Wow.
So, and also I picked up on something Ralph mentioned earlier, which was that this is done in real time. So you don't have to analyze the system at the end of the day or anything like that, or the end of the week, to find out what's been happening. At that moment you can get the notification about, is it something like that when it says it's real time? I mean,
it's absolutely that. It's really something innovating in the sense that often controls are done once a day or at the end of the week, and here, as we retrieve all the information in real time or near real time, because it has a couple of seconds of delays, we can do all the analysis on the flows. So as soon as something is detected or someone does a wrong transaction, it will notify the different person internally, and that's a major change in regards to what has been done so far.
So what more can a bank ask for when it comes to, or any financial institution for that matter, I mean, when it comes to detecting fraud at any point? So Ralph, in your opinion, do you think that in the next 10 years maybe Sri Lanka can come abreast to what Singapore has achieved so far?
Well, I mean, every country is in a state of evolution, and the countries who are behind actually evolve faster towards the countries that are in front. So, the gap is narrowing. I mean, this is a universal problem. I mean, whether it's Singapore, whether it's China, whether it's Sri Lanka, it's exactly the same issue. It's issue for, if a person sets out to defraud you, you're the second person to find out about that intent, basically, right?
Yes.
So Singapore has the same problem. Equally, the system applies in Singapore as it applies in Sri Lanka. In 10 years, it'll be no different.
But the software itself and what you have to detect it will be, so maybe the rate of it and the number of occurrences.
The banking process will be different, and therefore the things you're looking for will be different.
Okay.
And the software will evolve to cater for those things.
All right.
Basically, what we have noticed from country to country, the only things what differ is the amount of money that is involved in each cases.
Okay.
And that's it. But the type of fraud are always the same type of issues.
All right, so then it's great to know that there's a software that's prevalent here in Sri Lanka as well, which can help to stop this fraud. And I'm sure all our viewers, especially the bankers and those who are involved in the financial institutions who are watching the show today, can really benefit from knowing about something like this. So this has just been launched in Sri Lanka. Are you excited about the future?
Definitely, especially after the launch we did with bankers yesterday. Everything was positive. They were really good feedback, so we definitely will come back soon and often in Sri Lanka.
Nice. That's what I wanted to hear. All right, so we'll go into a quick commercial break and we'll be back with one more guest.
Yes, definitely. Someone who can give us a very Sri Lankan perspective on what this product can do in terms of impacting the economy here in Sri Lanka. So do stay with us on Good Morning Sri Lanka. We'll be right back.